November 11th is Veterans Day, a day set aside to honor and celebrate our fellow Americans who are willing to put it all on the line to secure democracy. And after a protracted election day leaving many anxious and confused, it's more important than ever to acknowledge the importance of protecting and strengthening our 244-year-old experiment in self-governance. So this week we are doing just that by shining a light on true American heroes and the civilians who help them shine. A company giving free wedding gowns to military brides.
Wedding dresses can be costly. This does free up some money to have a honeymoon because a lot of military brides don't get to have a honeymoon.
A 93-year-old vet with a passion for boozy baked goods.
That's why I'm 93 and still living. I've always had a lot of energy. My wife used to say, Ray, you never sit still.
And a Purple Heart recipient taking to the surf.
Especially after an injury, I think it's been really great for me to get back on the ocean, and really makes me feel alive and intense.
No matter who you voted for, celebrating the men and women who served this nation with honor is something we should all have more in common. Our first story takes us to Arlington National Cemetery, where this veteran turned choreographer uses dance to help his fellow soldiers express their emotions.
The military and ballet have a lot more in common than people think. We've been doing this for 12 years, and it started as putting stories up on stage so audiences could connect with this experience. And it's expanded to include working with veterans in a very tangible way through movement, to peace building and sharing these stories around the world.
My name is Taylor Gordon, and I'm a dancer with Exit 12 Dance Company, and I'm doing a ballet for my brother who served in the U.S. Army, deployed twice to Afghanistan, and took his own life in 2016. He's buried here at Arlington National Cemetery. He had come back from Afghanistan in 2015. He had been back for a while, and he actually was supposed to finish his contract with the Army a couple days after, and unfortunately he took his own life in August 2016. He's buried here at Arlington Cemetery where we had this performance. We try to help veterans and to use our art for something important. I kind of designed the piece. It's kind of semi-autobiographical, and there's a moment in the piece where I'm kind of turning and turning and turning, and all of a sudden I just hit basically what is his dead body, which thankfully I never actually saw his real life death myself, but for me that moment was the moment that I found out that he died. Reliving that through movement, it's not easy at all, but it's kind of a way of making it more bearable.
Then we start shouldering the weapon. Once we shoulder the weapon, you want to think about a couple of things. Nice strong stance, making yourself as small of a target as possible. Your eye gaze is looking right over the top of the sights at your target.
A lot of people would say that the military and ballet have nothing in common.
For us, it's to stand up tall and have good posture and make nice clean arms. And in the military, many of the soldiers go through similar, very strict daily training to do very different movements and very different things, but those two worlds actually are similar in the training aspects of it.
People have one way of thinking about the military, that it's this regimented organization, and yet there are a myriad number of individuals with their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences that serve. One of the things we do is giving veterans of all eras, of all services, a voice to tell their story.
If you want to share a memory, the stage is yours.
Some guys got wind of some photos from my ballet days, and a couple of them thought it was pretty cool, and then one of them never talked to me again. So I stayed tight-lipped my whole military career about my ballet service. And after serving in the Iraq War in 2005, I think I came back from that with a lot of hang-ups. And so my girlfriend, who's now my wife, asked me to do something different. What would I do? And I told her I'd get back to dance and get back to choreographing. The military and ballet have a lot more in common than people think.
Hello, thank you guys so much. I just wanted to say, today it reminded me, I'm sorry, of my friend Sarah's fall when she passed away in the military training exercise over in Egypt. I think she was only 25. Thank you for helping me remember her today.
Thank you for sharing.
And Bruce, you're coming as a Vietnam era veteran, and why are you on this stage?
It's all about physicality, expressing through the body. And your body doesn't think the same way that your computer does. And if you can get it expressed through this, you can literally sweat it out.
So there's a therapy aspect to being
That's
up
it, entirely. Yeah.
I've come to Arlington a couple times now to see my brother's grave and to visit him, and every time it's terrible. But now, having done this performance, I think it's gonna be great for me to kind of reframe how I feel about this place, and it's a fulfilling place for me to be able to do what I love to do here, where my brother is steps away. A lot of the vets that we come in contact with through the workshops that we do, it's very hard for them to talk about their military experience or to talk about their deployment, and my brother definitely was not up for talking about anything that he saw or did over there. But through movement, there's ways to express angst or anger or whatever it is that they have going on inside of them.
Dance has this opportunity to connect with material in a non-literal way, to explore themes that are difficult to deal with. And then as you're doing it with movement, you're combining a very powerful recipe that can allow someone to move beyond trauma and to turn them into something more and something that they can use to heal with.
Next, we're heading to San Diego, where vets are helping each other heal by harnessing the power of the ocean.
When I surf, I don't want to come back on land. It's quite nice to be on the ocean and kind of weightless and feeling the energy of the ocean and being around other people. When I come back on land and I change out, I feel a bit more disabled, but when I'm out on the water, I don't really feel that different.
While on patrol in Afghanistan, Dan stepped on an IED, triggering a massive explosion.
I was in a coma for about 8 days, and I woke up and I'm back in Bethesda, Maryland at a naval hospital. I can't get out of a wheelchair. I have a ruptured bladder, colostomy bag, broken hands, shattered pelvis really with an external fixator, 2 legs amputated above the knee. At that point, this is pretty much ground zero. I told myself in the hospital, I am just sick of being indoors all day. I was craving fresh air, craving the outdoors and nature. I got into Paralympic sports. I'm in the sitting category for the Paralympic team. It's an honor to represent the US, but what I was really missing was the reconnection with the ocean.
Tell me about your friendship with Kyle.
I knew Kyle from the Navy. We've known each other since probably 2005.
He was on the East Coast going back to school. I'm out here. I found out he was starting to surf, and I was like, man, we got to reconnect.
What is one more wave?
When we heard that the veteran suicide rate was an averaging 22 a day, we said, hey, our favorite form of therapy is getting out there and surfing. So what we do is we build our wounded, disabled veterans customized surfing equipment that we tailor to their individual need, their individual requirement, in an effort to get them back out there and getting them some more waves.
He's an amazing guy. He's been teaching me a lot about where to position myself. I try to get out to San Diego every year now to surf with him.
When we went out with Dan, we were looking at how he was actually surfing, and we said, you know what? We're gonna be able to help him take his surfing to a whole nother level.
We started collaborating. How could we make a custom surfboard that would fit my unique center of gravity, my unique body shape?
We've learned so much that's not just helping Dan, but it's helping every single one of the veterans that we serve.
I think we've really hit the nail on the head with this latest design right here.
What do all surfers, regardless of disability, have in common?
Each one of us has that drive, that want, that desire to excel on the next wave.
I can think of waves that I've caught in Mexico or Indonesia and here in San Diego, and I have the biggest smile on my face, and it really makes me feel alive and you know, intense.
Coming up, this 93-year-old veteran opens a boozy bakery.
What do you think of him, you know, running a cupcake place at 93 years young?
You're kidding me, really?
And later,
hopefully being here, I inspire other patriots to honor our military, honor our veterans, and support law enforcement.
done just about everything in my lifetime. I've built houses, built workshop. I learned to be a portrait painter. That's why I'm 93 and still living, because I've always had a lot of energy. My wife used to say, "Ray, you never sit still." I had a bakery from 1972 to 1990, the end of 1990. And then I retired. My wife and I traveled quite a bit. And I worked part-time till I was 75. My funds weren't paying anything. My wife passed away. And so I decided to do this.
Let's try to one of each of the pina coladas, the chocolate and vanilla. You enamored me that you could be 93 years old and still kicking it.
What do you think of him, running a cupcake place at 93 years young?
You're kidding me, really?
Congratulations, sir. Thank you, thank you. I was in the Navy. I used to drink a soda. Funny, one sailor found out that I was just drinking soda. So he says, "What the hell kind of a sailor are you? You don't drink." I bought a book, Bartending for Dummies, and studied that quite a bit. Did a lot of research on how to put this thing together. I don't drink it, but I like the taste of it. There's the Angelical. A lot of them bake it into the cake. I don't do that. I bake some of the alcohol in the cake, but most of it's infused after the cake is baked. When I decided to put sex on the beach, she said, "Oh no, Dad, not that." And she said, "You might offend someone." And my granddaughter said, "Go for it, Papa." We try to simulate sand by mixing two types of sugar together. Take a breathalyzer test and you'll pass it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's so good.
Yeah, that's the response we usually get.
The skills learned during the course of military service are valuable long after discharge, and the tech industry is taking notice.
I could tell a veteran inside of one of my classes or in a startup from a mile away because they're more mature, they're more competent, and they bring a strength of character that on average you don't see in the civilian population.
Veterans bring a unique set of diversifying experiences that are really unusual and atypical in the private sector.
Following the Vets and Tech invasion, I signed up for that course, got some exposure to cybersecurity, and once I did that, I was like, yeah, this is the field that I want to specialize in. And all the while I was working with Vets and Tech, and I kept in contact with the people that I met there, as well as the founder, Catherine Webster, and she was able to put me in contact with Shape Security and get some visibility on my resume, some of my skills and all that. And now I'm here working as a security operations analyst in Shape Security.
The teams that we have that have added veterans have become much more effective than you would think would be possible by just adding a few people. So I would encourage you to try that out and see what an incredible difference it can make. The most important thing out there is bringing together a great team, and so any additional exposure that you or your company can get to amazing people that you wouldn't otherwise have known, it might be the most valuable thing you can really get out there.
Smart large companies understand that vets are actually great hires. Because they have this level of maturity and have had responsibility way beyond their years.
To other veterans that are where I was a year ago, either you're near graduation or you graduated and you're not quite sure what to do, or you're not getting accepted for the jobs that you're interested in, I would say just keep on building that network, keep on learning, keep on reaching out, just keep that hope up, and you'll eventually find where you want to be.
Coming up after the break.
The event is to give away free wedding dresses to active duty military brides.
And later, there's nothing like a military member coming home.
During this time that we're all stuck at home because of the coronavirus and all the suffering that is going on, I wanted to create a project that I could do that would keep me busy during this time, but also be able to give back to veterans. A veteran will contact me, he or she will be referred to me, say that they have a need for a walking cane. And then I will custom make a walking cane for them, and I will inscribe it by wood burning into that cane, things that are special to that individual veteran. And this is done entirely at no charge and no cost to the veteran. I do this to honor veterans, to show them that even after all this time, they matter. I want them to be proud of what they carry, so that's why I custom make each and every one. I started to do this because, one, I am a veteran and had been doing some woodworking for some time now, and just felt that this was a way that I could give back to the veterans and also just use the tools that I have for bettering their lives and bettering mine. This is a wood lathe. Turn this on, we're gonna cut it. I'll use different grits of sandpaper to knock it down the rest of the way. I can make a cane out of 2x2 pine or something that I pick up at Home Depot, but I like using more natural materials. Some of the things that I incorporate onto the cane would be their name, their rank, special things that they did while they were in. One gentleman flew airplanes for 4,000 hours. This one, he was in the Army Air Corps. Not even the Air Force yet. He served from 1943 to 1946, and he referred to the guys he served with as his Boca buddies. This one I sent off to a gentleman who is 94 years old, and he served during World War II. He served in the American campaign, but never got his medal. So I ordered this medal and actually attached it to his cane. I do have a lot of free time right now if you know of anybody that needs one. So it's not just for the veteran that is handicapped in any way, shape, or form. Sometimes we just want one. I'm happy to make one for them. One of these days I may make my own, but right now I don't need it. Right now I can do this and I store it up in my heart, and that's very special.
Standing beside so many service members are military spouses who make great sacrifices, but often without the glory. So this small business owner decided to dedicate dresses for military wives-to-be.
The event is to give away free wedding dresses to active duty military brides. So either brides who are currently active duty or who are marrying active duty is eligible for this. And the event is designed for brides to get their dresses for free, because it can be, for military brides, it's often a much shorter process because, you know, their wedding was brought forward because of a deployment or a change of station, something along those lines. So this allows those military brides to still have the wedding that they want because the dress portion is taken care of.
It was perfect. I found a dress that I really loved, and I'm glad that I'm going to be able to use it next month, and looking forward to it. Really nice, like couple $1,000 dresses that they're giving away for Veterans Day and military families. It was great to hear.
Wedding dresses can be costly. It just kind of depends on what the bride's looking for. But yeah, this does free up some money to have a honeymoon, because a lot of military brides don't get to have a honeymoon. So this can kind of move those expenses over to something a little bit more fun, a little more interesting, or more necessary for that matter. Any dress we have on the floor are dresses that the brides can choose from. A lot of it is floor samples that we have taken the time to fix any issues with them. We clean them all, they're all ready to go. We are ready to give away to anybody who needs it.
All right, take a smile. 1, 2, and 3. More.
Veterans Day, honestly, we did it because we wanted to be able to reach the most brides. We knew a lot of brides would have the day off. So far, we had 35 appointments to give away free dresses. We are also doing walk-ins.
It's humbling because not a lot of people do stuff like this for veterans and stuff. So when I see stuff like this, it gives me faith that what I've been doing is actually, appreciated.
It was beautiful because she's the baby of the family, and oh my God, I'm trying not to cry. We're just happy.
Thank you. Bye. Good luck.
Coming up.
Our country is worth preserving. We should appreciate the freedoms we have here. I love America. I would do anything for America. Thank you. Our country is worth preserving. We should appreciate the freedoms we have here. All day it's like this. I was drafted in 1966. I got injured in Vietnam, came back in the and a cast from my neck to my hips. I was fortunate. It wasn't appreciated at all, but the country has changed a lot since then, a whole lot, and I'm thankful for that.
All right, God bless you, sir.
God bless you. Thanks for coming out.
It's an honor to meet you.
When I first sat here in July, I told my wife, I said, I'd like to see this whole corner full with people with flags. And so maybe today's that day.
He calls it his job. He feels like he's been told to do that. He gets up every morning and says, all right, I'll be back.
Keep beeping, I'll keep waving.
He has 8 grandchildren, and he worries about what kind of country they're going to be in.
He always said to me, you know, if you see someone that's a vet, always say to them, welcome home.
Hey, thank you. Welcome home to you, too.
And that was something he taught us years ago when we were little, not just, you know, last week.
It's all about you guys. It's all about America.
All about us.
Yep.
It's been a hard year. It's been a hard year, but I'm very proud of my officers. They come to work every day and they do a good job and they keep this community safe.
I appreciate it, but it's not about me. Hopefully, being here, I inspire other patriots to honor our military, honor our veterans, and support law enforcement.
What better way to celebrate veterans than with a huge hug when they come home? And so often they surprise us. Here are some of my favorite videos from the past year of veterans returning to their families. We're starting off in North Carolina, where this serviceman surprised his mother, who works at a cafe there. She gives him an incredible hug and then takes him back to the kitchen to show off her son to all her fellow employees. Next we head to Virginia, where Aiden Waters thought he was going outside to play a little basketball and instead discovered his dad in the driveway, and he just leaps right into his arms.
Who's that?
Hey, Dad!
Now for a moving moment in Missouri, where these 3 firefighters came to the rescue after a veteran's wheelchair had broken down. They pushed him all the way home. Finally, it's not just humans who miss their heroes. Check out this 2-year-old golden retriever rushing to its owner when she returns home from deployment. Look at that love and that lick. Those are just a few amazing moments of love and support for veterans as they return home. Thanks so much for celebrating Veterans Day with me today here on More in Common. I'm Michael Koenigs, and there's much more of this show and others on the ABC Localish Network.